A video to help you with assignment 5 for the transitions math class. Deals with car insurance. There's a table, and I put a table on Moodle for this also, but the table's also in this video and in the PowerPoint that's on there, and it's also in your book, so you're going to use that table for some of the problems. I'll show you that table. Be able to compute the total cost. We're not going to, this second part, that shouldn't be there. That's going to be next time. Different kinds of insurance. Liability insurance provides financial protection to the policyholder against claims for bodily injury, property damage, as a result of an accident. Liability in the state of Ohio is you have to have liability insurance on your car to cover if you're in an accident, whether it's your fault or not, or if you tear up something of somebody else's, if you run into somebody's fence or whatever, you have to have liability insurance to pay for that. Collision insurance. Collision insurance pays for damage to the insured vehicle caused by a collision with another vehicle or an object such as a telephone pole. So liability insurance pays, if you carry liability insurance, that pays for the other people's property that maybe you damaged, or if somebody was hurt while they were in your car. So that protects you from getting sued. Collision insurance actually covers your vehicle. So if you're in a wreck and you have collision insurance, it's sort of like having full coverage insurance, might be called. That pays for the cost of pays for the damage for your vehicle has. Comprehensive insurance. Comprehensive, and this goes along with full coverage, sort of, if you ever call, something like that. That's not really a name, but that's something that some people will say. Comprehensive insurance pays for damage to your vehicle or losses due to fire, vandalism, theft. So if your car's sitting in the parking lot somewhere and it gets vandalized, comprehensive insurance pays for that. One kind of comprehensive insurance that I know I try to carry on my vehicles is glass breakage. And with glass breakage, it's not as good anymore because now insurance costs so much. But used to be with glass breakage, if a rock or something hit your window and you carried that glass breakage coverage, it would pay for it completely. You wouldn't have to pay anything out of your pocket to get your windshield or whatever fixed. Also, since the area that we live in, I used to carry a coverage that was a comprehensive insurance that was for hitting animals like a deer. Even though I might not have had full coverage on my car, I had coverage that covered in my car in case I hit a deer or something like that, and it damaged my car. A deductible clause. Deductible clause is a clause in an insurance policy that requires the insured person to pay a certain amount before the insurance companies pay, or before the insurance company starts to pay. So if you have a deductible clause, what it is, and we've talked about that with the medical insurance in the past, a deductible clause is the amount of money that you have to pay first, and then the insurance starts covering it. So a lot of times it'll be something like a $500 deductible. So that means you pay the first $500. If you hit somebody's fence and it costs $1,200 to fix, then you pay the first $500, and the insurance company then will cover the other $700. These deductible clauses, a lot of times you'll have a deductible clause on your insurance because it will make your insurance cheaper. So a lot of times $500, and nowadays $500 isn't even a whole lot. Most deductibles now are $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 or something like that, depending on what it's for. Just to go back here for a second, with some of this stuff, especially with bodily injury and stuff, you really got to watch, because with bodily injury, and we've talked about this in class before, as soon as somebody gets put in an ambulance or in care flight or something like that, those bills are really, really high. So when you're putting this liability insurance, you got to make sure that, if you're carrying just liability on your car, and you can get real cheap insurance, but the bodily injury might only cover something like $20,000 per person. Well, if that's all if that's all it's going to pay, that's not even worth having the insurance, because all that's going to happen there is, if something happens, you're in a wreck, and one of your passengers is hurt, and they have to get hauled to the emergency room, their bill's probably going to be a lot more than $20,000, and you're going to end up paying everything that's over that. So you really got to watch when you get these insurance plans. You got to watch how much you're actually covered for. You can get cheap insurance, and you see it all the time on TV or on the radio, them offering cheaper insurance. But you got to watch out, because if you get that cheap insurance, at some point, if something happens, and you have somebody that's injured in your car, and they only covered up to $20,000, and their bill ends up being $120,000 because they're in the hospital for a week or something, that other $100,000 has to come from somewhere, and they're going to try to get you to pay it. So you got to watch when you're getting these different plans. Don't get just the cheapest thing just because it seems good. Your annual premium. Your annual premium is the amount you pay each year for your insurance coverage. All right. So annual premium is what you pay per year. A lot of you probably pay your insurance by the month. Well, to find your annual premium, then you would just multiply times 12 to figure out your total yearly. That's what annual means, remember, to find that total yearly premium. Let's go back to this real quick. One other thing, this is an annual premium. This is what you actually pay. There's also something called a base premium. A base premium is what all the people that fit in your group average out to pay. All right, so you and your friend might have the exact same insurance, and maybe they pay more than you, just for the simple reason that they've had an accident or something. But if you look at the base premium for you and them, it's probably the same, but then the annual premium is based off something else, and we're going to talk about a formula here in a minute that I'll show you that makes maybe their premium, or their annual premium higher than yours. When you're looking at these insurance things, it'll say something, it might say something like 100, 300. Then it might also, sometimes it'll have something else out here like a 50. And what that means is the insurance company will pay, this first number tells you the insurance company, you need to read these carefully because they could switch it around and change stuff around. But the insurance company will pay up to $100,000 on any one person injured. So if it's more than 100,000 for that one person, you're going to be paying more. This number is the total overall. Let's say you're in a car accident. When I was younger, I was in a car accident and there was 5 of us in the car, and all 5 people were injured. The insurance company will only pay up to this certain amount, which in this case, if it's 300 there, is $300,000 for the entire accident. So if there's 5 people in the car and every single one of them has to stay in the hospital for a few days, and the bill ends up being $400,000 or $500,000 total, then this $300,000 isn't going to cover it. The 50 here, so these two are both for bodily injury, and they should be fairly high because hospital costs and medical costs are expensive. This 50 is for property damage. So that's saying that the insurance company will pay up to $50,000 for property that's damaged. Maybe a fence, fix somebody's yard if you ran through their yard. Maybe you hit. When I was younger, it cost me a bunch of money on my insurance because I backed into a fire hydrant, and it was very, very expensive to fix. So it cost me a bunch of money through my insurance company to get it fixed, and that's what that's talking about, is $50,000 up to $50,000 in property damage. All right, these two formulas, these are what you're going to use. Your annual base premium, that's what I was talking about. That's the base. It's not what you're actually going to pay, but it's a base for general, when they average everything out, general people in your specific group for that insurance. The annual base premium, you take the liability premium plus your collision premium plus your comprehensive premium, and you add those 3 up, and that gives you your annual base premium. The annual premium, you take that answer, so this is the answer from that first formula there, your annual base premium, and you times it by your driver rating factor. And the insurance company figures out what your driver rating factor is according to your age, how many moving violations or speeding tickets or anything that you have, maybe by how many accidents you've had, so on and so on. Get rid of that. And so you multiply by that number. All right, the other things that this driver rating is based off of, or sometimes your insurance is based off of it, is the style of car you drive or the type of car you drive, how much you drive the car, if you drive the car just for pleasure, if you drive the car back and forth to work and you have a long drive every day, so on, so on, so on. So that's all goes into figuring out your annual premium. All right, this is the chart that the problems are going to use. Again, there's a picture of it here. I'll hook another one that you could print off and use, or it's right there in your book. This gives you annual liability premium up here at the top, and it's got property damage limits, 25, 50, 100,000, And then it also goes, it tells you 25, 50, 25, 100, 50, 100, 100, 200, 100, 300, 300, 300. And that's going to be your liability. That's going to be the part of your insurance. It's the liability part. The collision part is down here. On these collisions, the book has each one of them as a $50 deductible. I don't think that you can get insurance anymore where they allow you to have a $50 deductible. It's gonna be quite a bit higher than that, probably at least 500. So this is just showing that our book's a little old, but we're gonna match it up, and you'll see that they have an age group, and then they also have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's the insurance rating group. That could be, you know, based on like your car and different things. And the book will tell you which group each person falls in. So we're going to do a couple of problems here together. This one says, Della is principal operator of her vehicle. Her driver rating factor is 2.20. Her insurance includes 5,100 bodily injury and $50,000 property damage. Her vehicle is in age group A and insurance rating group 13, so A13. She has a $50 deductible comprehensive and $50 deductible collision insurance. What is her annual base premium? And then what is her annual premium? So we're gonna go through and do this. The first thing they tell us is her driver rating's 2.20. We're gonna use that at the end. Her insurance includes 5,100 bodily injury. Well, that's right here. And she has $50,000 property damage. Well, the $50,000 property damage is this line. So what we're doing is we're using this and coming down here, and we're getting that number right there. So her annual liability insurance is $344. So we're going to write that down. Then it says her vehicle is in age group A and insurance rating group 13. So if we look at A13, it's right there. And it says that she has $50 deductible on her collision and comprehensive insurance. So we're going to use this number. And we're going to go down here to the A and over to the 13 again. And that's 113. Ignore all that. Just doesn't like writing on that. So let's erase some of this. If I go back and do this again, that's A, it's right here. And then go over to 13, that's here. So we got 300 for her collision, plus 113 for comprehensive. And all we're going to do is we're going to add up all three of those. So if you grab your calculator and you add them all up, 344 plus 300, that's 644. 644 plus the 113 is 777 or 757. That's her base premium. So that's one of the answers they wanted. That's her base premium. And then we're going to use that to find her annual premium. And the way we find her annual premium is we take that base premium, 757, and we times it by her driver rating, which they told us was 2.20. So if you grab your calculator and you do that multiplication, 757 times 2.20, you end up with $1,665.40. That's how much she pays per year. I'm gonna rewrite that, $1,665.40. That's her annual premium. All right, this next one, Prim is charged $319 for liability insurance, $213 for collision, and $65 for comprehensive. His driver rating is 1.6. What is his total annual premium? So this time they just want the total annual premium. So what we're going to do, we got to find the base premium first. The base is going to equal the 319 plus the 213 plus 65. We're just going to add all those up. If you grab your calculator and you add them all up, it looks like it comes out to be, let's see, that's 532. 532 plus that is 597. So that's his base premium. Then to find his annual premium, we take that number, that 597, and we multiply it times his driver rating, which is 1.6. So this time we didn't need the chart to look up stuff. On some of the problems you will need the chart like we did on the last problem. You just multiply these two together this time. 597 times 1.6, and you get 955.2. Remember, that's got to be money, so we put a 0 on there. So his annual premium is $955.20. So if they just tell you what they are, you don't have to use the chart to look it up. But if they tell you the way that they told you on this problem, where they tell you the bodily injury stuff and all that stuff, then you got to use this chart to look up how much it's going to be and put that into your calculations. All right, the assignment's on page 352. It's just a short assignment. Page 352, problems 2 through 10. Problems 2 through 10.